I found out this week that Matt Fisher has had unbelievable tragedy going on in his life behind the scenes, and none of us knew about it. I mean, I didn't, but we may have known about the loss of his sister in a tragic car accident. But we didn't know what was going on because of it. A fight with the Progressive car insurance company, Progressive. And when you hear what this insurance company has done to Matt's family, it will make you... I'm not a guy who bashes any company. I'm sure Progressive has its good points, and they're not entirely evil, I'm sure. But this is a case that this insurance company has at least a few evil people working for him. And Matt brought this to everybody's attention when he wrote a blog, I think it was on Tuesday. And a couple of websites, including The Blaze, picked it up right away. And the story has now gone national and viral.
International.
Yeah. And Progressive Auto Insurance is trying to settle up now real quick, I'm sure. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm sure they're like, okay, let's make this go away. And my advice to Matt Fisher is, no, don't. Because if it can just happen to you, it can happen to anybody. I want you to hear the story. This is the first time he's done an interview that I know of on this subject, and I want you to know I'm not necessarily going to push him on answers because I don't want to put him in an awkward situation because this situation has not been settled yet. So, Matt, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and more specifically, thank you so much for shedding so much light on this situation. It's incredibly gratifying.
First of all, I wish you would have come to me with it beforehand. I'm sorry. I happened to read your blog, and I wish I would have known because I wish I could have been there as a friend for you while you were going through it. I can't imagine. How long has this been going on, Matt? Really active, tearing your family up.
Well, my sister died June 19th, 2010, so it's been just over 2 years. And then that was the beginning of a discussion with Progressive Insurance about settling her policy, and that's been going on through today. Okay,
so tell me, your sister was killed by another guy. You even in your blog said, "Look, I don't want to cast blame here, but the court system casts blame on him."
Right, and inducing the court system to pass blame on him was one of the hoops that my family had to jump through in order to present themselves to Progressive.
Okay, so she's killed by a driver, and she has Progressive insurance. He was underinsured, right?
Right.
Okay.
He was. Well, I guess the important end of it is that my sister carried a policy about being struck by an underinsured driver. So they were obligated to make up the difference between the value of an underinsured driver's insurance and this policy that my sister held.
And she paid it, and she was up on her payments, and that's specifically what she was paying for, was in case somebody hit her and they were underinsured, Progressive would come in and pay for it. And she paid the extra dollars for that policy.
Yes, that is my understanding.
So that's exactly what happens to her. And then what happens when they go to court?
Well, I mean, there was a good long period before it actually came to court. My parents tried to collect that difference from Progressive, and because it was an open question as to whose fault it was. If my sister had been at fault in the accident, Progressive would have not been held, to pay. Okay. Because that had not been established legally, Progressive refused, I suppose, to pay the balance of the policy.
We've lost him. Hang on, because
we lost you.
We lost you for a second. Because Progressive, because your sister wasn't.
Right. Because fault hadn't been legally established, Progressive was not obligated to pay.
All right. So when that happened, you must have thought at first, okay, this is frustrating, but I understand maybe what Progressive is doing. We have to let it play out.
Sure. Sure, and I would even rewind one step before. That's definitely a fair characterization. But also, I keep reminding people that this is in the wake of my sister's death. So this is the worst imaginable thing is happening, and then you're presented with a headache.
Okay.
And
now they go to trial, and Progressive, of course, stands by your side. Stands by your family's side, your sister's side, because that's who she paid. She paid them to represent her, and that, of course, is what happens then, right?
Sadly, no, and strangely, no. In the trial, I sat and watched the trial. I wasn't a party to it. My parents were the plaintiffs in the trial, but during the trial, a lawyer from Progressive argued against my sister, argued that my sister was at fault in the accident that killed her.
Her insurance company was arguing for the person who actually struck her with the car.
Yes. Yeah.
And again,
and that's a lay person's observation. I sat there in court, and I can tell you all about it. Part of the nightmare of this thing is that because I'm not a lawyer, I'm a step behind at all times. So obviously I'm sure there are legal niceties and reasons for them to be there that I don't understand, but the state of things is that lawyer.
Like what did the lawyer for Progressive give me an example as a layperson? What did the lawyer do? Why are you making the conclusion they stood up for the killer?
Well, he gave an opening statement in the trial where he argued that the other killer wasn't negligent. He questioned witnesses, he cross-examined witnesses and raised objections, and then once all the witnesses had been called, he gave a closing statement where he asked the jury to find that my sister was negligent.
And the reason for this is because if your sister is negligent, they don't have to pay you.
Exactly.
How much money? How much money are we? Money are we talking about here, Matt?
$75,000.
Oh my gosh!
This is all over $75,000. That is amazing. I mean, you would think they were talking about $5